What? There we go. As the title says, whoa. That's good enough. You'll never guess what I'm doing today. / sarcasm. It's Halloween costume time. Basically, I gotta decide if I want to use this piece here. It's like a thigh, kinda. Whoa. Where can I put this so I can like actually back up and you can see stuff? Does that work? Kinda. I'm trying to decide if I should use this as like a thigh piece. And then I'd cut out another one, of course, to go with it. Or if I should just use it to make another... I mean, it's perfect shape already. So I guess I'll keep it like this. Time to crack out the other wall. Or actually, do I have a piece over here? Is this the right size? Why do I always lose everything every time I go live? Here it is. Hello. Yes, this is the wrong piece. A cool goober. Yes, hello. I'm making my Halloween costume. It's going to be a biblically accurate angel. Time to break out the next roll of EVA foam. I better not have forgotten my scissors somewhere. You won't believe this. I forgot my... Oh, thank you. You won't believe this. I forgot my scissors. Again. Wow. I'll be right back. Actually, no. They're right here. But these are my sewing scissors. But honestly, I don't care. Yay! I'm going to put this back down here so you can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. You can see my knees. My succulent knees. Wow. Oh, I'm just a furry. I am not a Therian. I just am kind of broke, so I can't get an actual fursuit head. I'm working on it, but I'm in desperate need of a job. And no one's hiring. Like, everyone says they're hiring, but are they? No. If they were hiring, they would hire me. You know? Anyway. My pencil. This'll work. My main complaint about EVA foam is that it is very staticky and like stuff sticks to it, is what I'm saying. So I've already got 2 of these. I love furries in not a weird way. I am one myself, haha, yeah. We're pretty chill people, you know. But yeah, I'm engaged in I need to get the big scissors. I'll be right back. Give me like a minute. Acquired. Goofy goobers join the chat. Who else is all here? Because it disappears like before I can see anything. Wish you the power of 1 billion viewers right now. Thank you. I don't think it's gonna work, but you never know. Yeah, I'm engaged in a bit of a rivalry with a friend of mine from church who he's also a costume designer, maker person. He's not a furry, at least I don't think he is. And kind of want to make him a furry. But I'm on worship team with him starting on Sunday, so I'll be able to convince him sometimes. I'm not sure what he's doing for his costume, and I don't want him to know about mine. So, hopefully he doesn't see this. I don't think he knows I have a YouTube channel, which is probably good. But I've already made a couple of these. What are your pronouns? Oh, she, her. Yeah, I am Boral. Yeah. What am I doing? Scissors, little scissors. And straps. Yes. I need them about that big. Oh, that's tearing. I might have to glue that in a bit. These don't have to be precise, because these particular gauntlets aren't going to go on my actual arms. These are going to go on these things, which are going to come off my waist, and then I'm just going to kind of hang them from my own arms. But as long as they don't, like, come off. What's your silliness on a level from 1 to 10? I'd give it a, 9.5. I personally would probably put myself around an 8, but I mean, I suppose it varies day to day. Today I'm feeling extra silly, which is why I am, of course, live streaming, which I guess I don't do it that often. I do it from time to time. Wait, this is thumb side. It'll go like the back up so you can see what I'm doing more clearly. I'm basically just marking where I'm going to put the little slits for the straps to go around the arm. Yeah, I was up pretty late making these two last night because I got 2 of these. And the next step after I do these gauntlets, I believe, is going to be, it's going to be finishing the belt and then making the shin guards, and then I'm going to spray paint. Then after I spray paint that, it'll just be basically it'll be a task of getting the wings right and getting the head. The head, I think, is going to be pretty hard because it's, according to, goodbye, have a nice day. Yeah, according to Ezekiel 1, which is what I'm basing my biblically accurate angel off of, they've got 4 faces: human face, ox face, lion face, and eagle face. And I'm kind of thinking of arranging that around my head, sort of, with the eagle in the back. And I think it says which left and right the ox and lion are on, but I can't remember that right now. It also, the Bible also says that the cherubim were glowing, or like they looked like coals, or they had the appearance of burning coals. So I'm going to put like fairy lights or something underneath the armor to make it kind of glow. Don't know if that'll work, and that'll definitely be like a last thing. But I probably would, chances are, given my procrastination levels, probably end up doing that the night before Halloween. I don't know if I should make videos with this once I have it done. Because I feel like that would be pretty cool, but like, what would I do? Because angels don't really do anything except whatever God tells them to, which, I don't know, I don't think angels typically make YouTube Shorts content. And you never know, they might, but all depends on if God says to. I think that's what a lot of people don't really understand about angels and stuff. Like, they exist for the sole purpose of serving the Lord. I mean, we humans do too, but we have free will. I don't think angels do. But then how would Satan have fallen? I don't know. I might have to check my theology on that. Or maybe they used to have free will and now they don't? I don't know. Because Or maybe the only difference is that they're spiritual beings and humans are physical ones. Well, no, we're both physical and spiritual if you think about it, because we have souls. Humans have souls. And, like, when we die, our souls go to heaven. And there's, like, new heaven, new earth with new bodies, something. I really need to brush up on my eschatology. No. The older brother of the guy that I have a rivalry with in this we're watching, he would probably somehow correct me on my use of the word eschatology. But he's not here because he's probably working on... I should be rehearsing for worship team right now, honestly. Because I'm playing an instrument that I don't normally play. I'm playing the electric bass. I'm used to upright bass. So, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm doing it. Okay, so this is going to go on the arm like this. Wait. It's going to go like this. Yeah, that fits really well, actually. I'm kind of surprised. It's going to go like that, so it needs to go through like this. Yeah, I know it seems like most of my live streams are literally just Halloween costume making, but from that one would assume that most of my life is Halloween costume making, but it really isn't. I just procrastinate on it a lot, and I need the external motivation of a live stream to actually buckle down and do it. I hope to be able to get the armor done before my sister gets back from church camp, which is in an hour. And my live stream screen time will run out before then. But I'll do my best to get as much of it done as I can. It's not as if I'm going to stop as soon as the live stream ends. Probably. Get in there. So basically what I do to attach these, it's a snap press. I use a snap press to make them snap together. Okay, that might be a bit difficult to do. Let's do this one first. So I don't want to. Put one here. And then the other one can go here. That'll work. Now where's the snap press? Ugh! I did break this, technically. There's like supposed to be a little rubber thing on it. It still works without it. It's just a little less good. And a little harder to use, and then I have to use pliers to get it back right. Which, where are the pliers? Here they are. Ow. I got a splinter from a rabbit, or not a rabbit, what am I saying? I got a splinter from Timothy hay that I was feeding to my neighbor's guinea pig. So that's annoying. It's right on my thumb. Excuse me. I kind of want to listen to something. Computer, volume 3. Computer, play the latest episode of... Wait, don't tell me. I don't know if I've heard this one yet.
Don't tell me. From Amazon Music, here's the latest episode. WWDTM, Amanda Seyfried, MXM Tune,
Oh, I've heard this one.
This message
Computer,
comes from Amazon.
play the latest episode of Radiolab.
Playing Radiolab from Amazon Music. Resuming episode 648 on The Divided Dial. Fishing in the
I have
night.
heard this one before, but I really like this one, so I'm going to keep it on. Computer restart episode.
Restarting on. Fishing in the night.
Wait,
I really like this one, this episode. I kind of want to get a radio, to like an actual ham radio thing. Hello, if you're joining the stream. I'm making my Halloween costume, listening to Radio Lab.
I'm senior producer Matt Kilty. Hi. And today we're starting in Minnesota.
If you can't hear it, let me know. I can turn it up.
Freelance journalist Katie Thornton in Katie's home in Minneapolis. So last winter, Katie came to New York, was my roommate for a month as she was finishing up season 2 of this project she's created. This show called The Divided Dial. Season 1 was about, you should say it.
Well, season 1 is about...
This has been the biggest global dry run to prepare the world to receive the mark of the beast.
The vast majority at this point of gender confusion is being driven by societal mania.
Drill, build the Keystone Pipeline, deport illegals, defy the federal government. How the right came to dominate pop radio in America.
Peabody Award-winning season 1.
Indeed.
So that was season 1. Then Katie came out to finish season 2.
I can't find the rest of this like,
All about
because it's on Radio Lab, but it's from a different show that they're like featuring, and I can't find the rest of it.
Shortwave now.
shortwave radio. So maybe you've heard of shortwave. I kind of like knew it as a phrase, as a thing, but didn't know anything about it or its significance.
Turning the dial. Turning the dial.
So Katie was just going to show me what this is by tuning into a shortwave radio station on this radio she has,
Oh. Okay, so nothing there.
which she tried to do
Let's try 7570.
back up we go for a while,
Up.
I really want to get a radio that has shortwave on it. I think I said that a minute
a
ago.
long while,
Ah, nothing. Dude, we can play 5850.
like for 20 minutes.
Oops.
This is what we did.
Nothing. Nothing.
So this is almost the perfect segue into Katie. Why did you do this series?
Great question. Taking it down, so you don't have to worry about it.
Just turn it. Yeah, you turn it off.
Okay, boom. Yeah, well, shortwave radio completely altered the course of, geopolitics globally in the 20th century.
Oh.
It also played a really big role in sort of shaping the modern right in the U.S. and giving rise to the anti-government militia movement, which we've, of course, seen make its way into the mainstream. And then I also found out that there's a very strange battle taking place on the shortwaves today, where on these sort of often ignored, minimally known frequencies, Wall Street is trying to get access to the shortwaves for a very unexpected reason that maybe I won't give away because it's the final episode of the series.
I really want to find the rest of the series, but I can't.
You listening?
It's not on here. I could look on the computer.
You're gonna have to listen to the series. And so today, what we're
I
doing
want
is
to
we're
listen to
playing
the series
first
so bad.
episode in season 2 of The Divided Dial, which was created by Katie, produced by On the Media, our friends, colleagues, literally just down the hall at WNYC. And I swear, episode 1, it will grab you. It will eventually lead you down a path to revelation of what Wall Street is doing in shortwave radio. And it's great. It's basically like episode 1 is kind of about the promise, the hope, the dream of shortwave radio, which you actually would not expect feels very present to today. So with that, we present to you, On the Media, Katie Thornton, Divided Dial, Season 2, Episode 1. Enjoy.
If you're just joining, I'm making Halloween costume while listening to Radio Lab.
Last summer, I
Well,
met
technically
up
it's
with a journalist
on the
and
media,
radio
technically it's
named
Divided
David
Dial,
Barker.
but I heard this episode the other day and I really liked it, so.
New York, so that we could listen to the radio together. Not any old radio, not AM or FM, nothing you can pick up in your car, but shortwave radio, the little-known cousin of AM and FM, with buzzy stations that can reach insanely far distances. David's been listening to shortwave since he was a kid in the 70s, when his uncle gave him a radio.
And I turned it on, and it's like the radio leapt out of my hand with the North American service of Radio Moscow.
Suddenly, the world was all within reach, available to him right there in this box.
In the 7th grade, I became the expert on the next 5-year plan in the Soviet Union, the economic plan.
Today, he's part of the Library of Congress's Radio Preservation Task Force. And together, on a sweaty Thursday afternoon last July, we sat down to hear what we could find on the shortwave dial today. Just like when David was a kid, we heard lots of government-run stations, like Radio Marti.
U.S. broadcasting news and information to Cuba.
This is Islamic, public of Iran.
China Radio broadcasting in Spanish. Let's see, anything else strong?
On other days, David will pick up English language shows from North Korea.
And they have very strident, military stuff.
And news from Cuba.
This is Radio Rebelde, Radio Rebel. And it goes back to the revolution.
On the shortwaves, the global tussle for influence plays out 24/7. But we didn't just hear news and propaganda.
Well, let's just go with it.
There were beeps and bloops. Coded messages sent between amateur radio operators or between government officials who used the shortwaves to send military down as secret instructions.
Let's see what else we have.
And some of what we heard just sounded like normal radio, with lots of music and preaching.
God in the Lord and the power of his might against the wiles of the devil.
It was hidden just to hide the meaning and the power of the divine name. It is inherent in the name of Yahweh.
That's an end times ministry that also preaches that the earth is flat.
Which is very interesting because
I don't like end times ministries and stuff. Like, we don't know when Jesus is coming back. It says so in the Bible. Like, if you say he's coming back
In
soon,
just about an hour of surfing the shortwaves, we heard prayer.
unless you mean just like
propaganda,
relatively
news,
soon at
stories,
some point
so
in
many
the future,
languages, and
you're gonna be
stories
wrong,
chants
because
from
like
all
no
over
one
the
knows.
globe.
No one knows except
I
for
felt
God the
like I
Father.
had been welcomed into a club that was somehow secret and yet right there for anyone to join. And I know it's cliche, but there was something magical about tuning into the world, training my ear to listen through the crackle, hearing the distance. As it turns out, this practice of scanning the dial, finding out what you can hear and from how far away, is a century-old art. It was popular among radio's early adopters. These early distance fiends, as they were known,
You know,
uncovered
Thomas
something
Jefferson would have
mystery
loved
about
shortwave
how
radio.
radio waves traveled through space. And what broadcasters
I mean, you
did
can't
with
tell
that
me I'm wrong, because
information
I'm not.
completely altered the trajectory of the 20th century. This is season 2 of The Divided Dial. I'm your host, Katie Thornton. I've worked in radio since I was a teenager, sometimes behind the scenes, sometimes behind the mic. In season 1, I investigated how right-wing talk took over AM and FM radio. But in all my years of radio research, I'd never really learned about shortwave radio before. And listen, I'm not going to tell you that shortwave radio is as influential today as the AM and FM talk radio we covered in season 1. It's not. But I, and I think you, love the medium of radio. So this season, we're diving into the often failed promise of a medium that was once ubiquitous, connecting people around the world
There we
long
go.
before the internet ever did.
Gauntlet
Like
1.
the internet, shortwave
Or, well,
also
3
took a turn
technically.
for the chaotic. Over the next 4 episodes, I'm going
I'm
to
gonna put a
explain
rubber
how
band there to
shortwave
keep it,
radio
like,
became a propaganda tool for
pinched so
government,
it kind of like rolls
and
up.
then a propaganda tool for American right-wing extremists and cults. And we'll explore what a little-known battle playing out on the shortwaves right now between radio fanatics and Wall Street can tell us about what happens when we cede control of our public airwaves. That's all coming up on this season of The Divided Dial. But let's get back to the story. Radio broadcasting, as in from one to many,
Come on.
didn't start on shortwave. It started on AM, taking off around 1920. And AM was inherently local. 50, maybe 75 miles.
There's only one AM station near where I live. I checked.
But at night, those listening at home noticed something strange. As the sun set, more stations emerged from the static. And they weren't coming from down the street or the next town over. Sometimes listeners in New York
Edison Studio, WAAM, located at 1 Bond.
would hear stations from Chicago.
Come on.
A listener in
These rubber
Kansas
bands are
might
so
hear
old and broken.
opera or
I got them from my church's attic. We're gonna throw them away, but I got them, and now I know why they were gonna be thrown away. They're all rotten.
distant stations faded in and out on ghostly, mysterious winds. Most people had never heard a faraway voice, period. Long-distance telephone calls were the costly domain of dignitaries and government officials, and even
Alright.
those were fed across long,
Now for this one,
scratchy
there's like hair on it.
lines.
You
A
know,
disembodied
that isn't my
voice,
hair. I don't know whose that is.
without a fee,
It
from
might be a wig.
hundreds of miles away, that awed and baffled people. Even scientists, some of whom believed that radio, perhaps, could be used to communicate with the dead.
Hmm.
But, of course,
Is that
there
the
were
whole
always
concept
some
behind like
explanations
spirit
for
boxes or
these
whatever?
voices in the night.
It's like, ooh, you can hear the ghosts on the radio. I don't believe in ghosts. Well, I believe in demons pretending to be ghosts. But I don't believe in ghosts.
Radio waves get shot from the top of a tall tower, which is often on top of a tall hill. The waves travel over the ground, basically line of sight. The tower, it's called a ground wave, and it's the thing that fades out a few dozen miles from the tower. But when you shoot out an AM signal, there's another thing that happens, almost a byproduct.
Radio waves are sent up in all directions.
It's called a sky wave, and the sky wave goes up into the atmosphere.
The lower layers of the ionosphere, which are about 45 to 75 miles above the Earth's surface, they're like a huge sponge during the day, and they absorb the signals that pass through them.
Susan Douglas is a professor of communication and media at the University of Michigan. She says that these lower layers of the atmosphere are made up of ions that get all charged up by the sun. And in the daylight, those layers are where radio waves go to die.
But at night, when the sun sets, these layers disappear, and the ones above them, they combine to form a dense layer, and it acts like a mirror to sky waves.
At night, these sky waves, the sort of byproduct of AM transmission, they keep going until they bounce off this other layer of the ionosphere. And they come back down to Earth vast distances away.
When these waves strike the antenna of a receiving set, this entire process is reversed. We hear sound originating at that very moment, hundreds or even thousands of miles away.
That's what these late-night AM radio listeners were hearing. A radio wave that had ricocheted off the ionosphere to get to them. And it rocked their world. Long-distance
I think I
channel
just heard
surfing
thunder.
became a fad called fishing in the night, with listeners casting out into the ether and seeing what they could catch.
They had a map on the wall with map tacks, and every time they reeled in a station, they would put a map tack on where that broadcast
Turn
coming
this kid over here.
Kansas City, listed at Washington, D.C., wherever.
Radio manufacturers ran ads with slogans like concerts from 14 cities in one evening. In newspaper editorials, the stressed housewives and sometimes husbands lamented that their significant other was spending every evening out in their radio shack. But while AM broadcast listeners burned the midnight oil to marvel at all the faraway stations, there was one group of people who weren't so surprised
Hello,
by
making
radio's
out in
ability to go
costume still.
wrong. They were the amateur radio operators, what you might know as ham radio. Basically, guys who weren't broadcasting, but were tinkering with radio equipment just to chat, one-to-one, like long-distance walkie-talkies.
A friend of mine does that. I kind of want to.
Before broadcasting, almost all radio transmission was one-to-one. The radio waves were mostly used by ship captains or the military, and the hams, who were just having fun. But in World War I, the U.S. government got worried about interference on those AM airwaves, so they eventually assigned specific frequencies for ships
waves that were thought utterly worthless, short waves.
Back then, people thought the short waves with short wavelengths, picture a really tight squiggly line, just wouldn't go very far. Even Guglielmo Marconi, the father of radio, thought that longer wavelengths would mean longer distances. But the amateurs weren't put off.
They began experimenting with them.
And as it turned out, the short waves weren't the short end of the stick.
They were getting really far. They were getting stations in Australia and New Zealand, more stations in England and France.
For the most part, reception was clearer at night, but it didn't have to be dark to go the distance.
Amateurs reported spanning distances as great as 10,000 miles, which was unthinkable. Australia and New Zealand were described in the fall of 1923 as a bedlam of Yankee signals.
The amateurs proved something huge. Shortwave could do round the clock what AM could only do at night. It could use the ionosphere as a springboard. And this changed the game for AM broadcasters who wanted their station to reach more people. In 1923, Pittsburgh's KDKA, the country's first commercial radio station, they got their station on shortwave and reached as far as South Africa.
I think I might have done it
Shortwave
wrong.
stations started up in Switzerland and Japan and Venezuela. And with the scars of World War I still fresh, this burgeoning international medium was a source of hope.
There was a lot of utopian discourse around radio that, how it allowed people to communicate across all these borders, where there'd be no more wars.
Michelle Holmes is a retired professor of media studies who has written a lot about radio.
It would, solve all kinds of problems. There's a huge enthusiasm over the possibilities of shortwave as a medium.
Entire magazines were devoted to helping people discover new shows.
I'm hearing frogs or thunder.
Listeners would write to far-flung stations, and the stations would reply with these beautifully decorated cards branded with the station name, and maybe some imagery that
I don't know, I'm hearing frogs.
culture of wherever they were
Like
broadcasting.
the spring peepers.
They're called
It's like
QSL
3:15.
cards, international code for I confirm receipt of your transmission. Shortwave listeners around the world amassed collections of these ornate cards, tangible evidence of their part in the ethereal global community. By the late 1930s, almost all home radio sets had AM and shortwave settings. But the peacenik aspirations for shortwave didn't last.
It was the first time that human beings had it in their power to be heard around the world, and a lot of governments figured out that this could be a really powerful tool for the common good, but also, of course, for the waging of wars.
Lots of the world's governments had taken to the shortwave by the 1930s, but no nation used them quite like Germany. Ziesen, Germany's state-run shortwave service, had spent years building a large following in America and around the world, playing things like orchestral music. But in time, they started pushing out Nazi propaganda, tailored for specific countries in 12 different languages. And with its own festering Nazi movement, the U.S. was a key target.
You had people like Axis Sally. She was American, living in Berlin. She became the first American woman to be convicted of treason after the war, but she was broadcasting into the United States on shortwave.
Women of America, waiting for the morning light, thinking of a husband who is being sacrificed by Franklin D. Roosevelt.
You might have heard of a person called Lord Haw Haw. He was a British man named William Joyce who was working in Germany, broadcasting on their shortwave service.
The rich affluent are removing themselves from their valuables as fast as they can.
There was also a big band called Charlie and his Orchestra, run by the German Ministry of Propaganda. They'd take popular big band and swing songs and add or change lyrics to berate Roosevelt or denigrate Jewish people.
Jewish family has a brand new heir. Each their joy and that proudly presents Mr. Franklin D. Roosevelt Jones.
They were trying to persuade Americans that, that the Germans had the right side in the war, and that it was crazy for them to fight.
Counter-intervention will he chose this decision to send troops along.
The U.S. government had banned all editorializing on domestic radio
Oh, my
stations
back
during the
hurts
war,
from sitting on the
making it
floor.
illegal for Americans to
Why do I
promote
do
the Nazi
this
cause
myself?
on the AM airwaves. But the feds didn't have any control over shortwave broadcasts beaming in from Germany, so the content was still there for the many Americans who wanted to listen. Journalists at CBS and NBC launched counteroffensives.
The networks had what were called shortwave listening posts in New York,
Susan Douglas again.
and they had people who were fluent in foreign languages monitoring international shortwave broadcasts.
And then they turned their findings into entertainment, like the hit CBS radio series hosted by a popular detective novelist named Rex Stout. It was called Our Secret Weapon.
The truth is a weapon that isn't secret in our country, but it's a big secret to the people who live in Germany, Japan, and Italy. Our enemies don't have this weapon. They don't dare let their people know the truth.
Every week, radio sleuth Stout debunked enemy shortwave propaganda.
First, a broadcast of the official German news agency on August 2nd.
Hello, I'm making Halloween costumes still and listening to podcast about shortwave radio.
Beamed of England.
And specifically about World War II right now.
As we now know, Churchill actually arrived in Moscow on August 12th.